Lori, um, if you'd like to kind of share with us, do you have anything that you can put up there or?
Yes.
She's got it, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Do you want me to stand here or where, or just in my seat? I don't care, whatever you wanna do.
As long as we can hear you.
I know, well, there's, yeah, right, I am a little bit. So I'm gonna continue on to Odem South. I developed all of Odem South so far, starting back at, what is that, church? I don't know, it's that one that comes off the church. Yeah, so I started Walker over, and so I did the last two. I haven't named these two streets, so I'm up for Elizabeth. That is my middle name, so.
Just go with Elizabeth.
Falcon?
No, don't.
Anyway, so,
Falcon.
Denver Broncos.
Every city has a falcon.
But they still don't have no Spanish
And
name.
then you're from Odem.
What's the,
Elizabeth.
what's the, like the names that you named the other streets?
I guess for my grandparents, up for their last names, and then Mr. Compton, because that's who I wrote the letter from, and I thought it was fitting, and then Stanley Webb,
Okay.
because he's the first one that brought me in on this, so. Anyway, it's pretty much the same layout. So I'm gonna ask for y'all to annex it, so I can be part of the city, because I still want to build the city. And I'm eventually, this road here, I'm gonna go straight back and start what I call the top shelf of the Compton land. Because we shot grade and the sewer will go back to that. So I can do more subdivisions back past that. And I can't go any further south towards the river bridge. I can only go up. So now I've got some stuff planned for that. You
But
know,
behind Stanley, you're doing that as well?
behind Stanley, I don't own that. He had sold that to somebody
I
else.
thought you were gonna wrap around,
I am.
but, so there's a parcel and then the other land that you're gonna wrap around.
Yes.
But that one, you,
I would love to come off of Cooper, and we did meet with the city, Mr. Miser,
Yeah, Miser. Mhm.
and, because of there's not enough to tie into that, lift station that y'all had put. Because I was gonna try and do everything on Cooper to run into that lift station, to utilize what the city was already paid for, you know? So, but the grade won't work as far as the angle or, how you have to drain it.
Yeah, but the sewer will come this way. That's how it'll be gravity.
Yeah, no, for
gravity.
this,
Yeah.
it works. I was
Yeah.
saying if we were coming off of Cooper,
even the ones that you're building on top
yes,
will come back this way.
right. And then they'll tie into Hancock and out.
So this will be the sixth, what is it, you have 5 cul-de-sacs right now?
This
So
is,
this will be the 6th cul-de-sac?
this is phase 5, isn't it? Phase,
Yes, it's phase 5, so it's 4.
Well, she don't want it to go second, she can continue.
The 7th cul-de-sac, and then the last one will go straight to the back.
yeah, this
It'll
one
be a
here.
thoroughfare, and that way, and then I've got Sanzat Drainage District is gonna put us a big,
That's
It's
my,
right there.
that was my next question. Have you had gotten with Sanford?
I did, L&V did a lot of studies for me, and remember Compton wanted the city to buy the land, but I finally said, if we're gonna develop, you need to donate, so we can have the drainage, and he did.
Okay.
So Sandpat's gonna take care of all that, there's no burden on the city at all.
In the beginning, he didn't want to do it.
No, he did not.
Yeah, 'cause I remember
He didn't,
he
and
kept
he,
on coming before council.
y'all
To
did
buy
a
it.
lot of study on it here.
Doing it on back this way.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess since we waited him out, it kinda helped out the city, so what did it, so.
So he used it, he didn't have a choice.
So we've got the drainage worked out, we've got the sewer worked out, the water, so, once y'all annex it. So,
So how many homes do you, or how many new
I
lots?
believe that's 31 with the bottom also,
Oh, okay.
so, about that, like the other. So, I'll be out asking y'all to annex it, and I'll get y'all whatever paperwork you need in the development agreement.
So there's we found some of these templates that probably need a little upgrading, but I've shared this with Lori already about this is a template for the petition for request annexation by the landowner. She's the landowner, and then the sample development agreement, which she's done before. We have a file on some of her past work.
Just make sure the local government codes are correct.
Yeah, that's another thing too, is we have to make sure because
Here's a copy of the petition right here. That's Meadowbrook's, and then the development agreement.
okay,
So
yeah,
all
yeah,
that goes together with exhibits
Yeah.
of the.
The parcel.
yeah. So
So if I buy one of those,
I'm not Meadowbrook.
No,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
giving them an example.
examples.
Oh, okay, okay.
So if I buy one of
You did
those,
one too.
Yes, I've done twice. I've
Right.
done twice. And then I had to do Cooper, I had to rezone that.
so if I buy one of those lots right there, you name the street of Maldonado. You
Sure.
have it signed long enough to put Maldonado.
I know, it's,
Hey, it's almost like Elizabeth.
Well, that's true.
yeah, Elizabeth's so much easier.
Elizabeth
to
sounds
spell.
better.
Elizabeth sounds better. I think you should.
What do you think, Elena?
I think that one sounds
Really?
It's short, it's just short.
Really, Bob?
Yeah.
No,
So-
And I really appreciate Sal's help.
One street named
Sir?
Louisville.
What about Tenille?
Tenille?
Hey, what about
Oh,
Tenille
yeah.
Tenille?
for Billy Joe?
Oh, yeah, that would be good.
Right behind you, look at it, right behind you, put Tenille.
That would be,
That would be
yeah.
good for her.
She was a big help. Man,
I remember
she-
when you,
I feel like
when you
that.
did phase two. Well,
No,
no,
the
phase
first
one.
Phase one.
Hey, she was out there, me and her were out there measuring and
Oh,
stuff, and Mr. Long, her name.
Yeah, Long, Tracy
We were
Long.
out there, but, hey.
Tenille sounds
get her, man.
Oh, she'll get her, she'd have him pull the sewer up and get her measurement. I'm like, you don't do that, let somebody else. But anyway, yeah, that's a great idea. So Sal's been a big help, and I really appreciate you helping me and working with me in the short notice. But I've been wanting to do this. Our last meeting was April.
Wow.
That we met in here, and I said potentially, and if y'all had any new subdivisions coming in that I would like to continue on.
Well, that's great. I mean, I can say just from our standpoint, I mean, that the city continues to grow, we're getting our new water system in place pretty soon.
Yeah, I heard.
So that's going to help. I think we just have some electrical stuff right there we have to address because the pumps, take a little bit more juice than what we have there right now. But, we are going to get it in line pretty quick. Then of course we're going to be, servicing our water tower and new water meter system. So I think we're in a good spot right now for growth, and we're looking forward to it.
Well, if y'all don't mind, I'd like to do kind of the same thing I did last time, I know that y'all did waive my personal building permits, just what I built,
Yeah.
as to help pay for some of what the cost was. And I appreciate that. I'd like to continue that, just for me, not other builders.
Right.
And I pay the water and sewer, I pay all of the others, so,
And it was only with the percentage of the houses that you built were.
30, less than 30%.
So I think maybe if you can get with Sal, because a lot of us weren't here when you were developing last time, and just kind of get with Sal and what it is and then of course we have to bring it before the council for approval. So,
Oh, and then there's a variance too. Okay, so,
So the annexation will, the development agreement, that will include the zoning that you want and the variances in that time. So it's basically just, your process is a little shorter than rezoning actually, because, and the 2020, there's a 2024 municipal annexation manual also. So I've sent Lori the link for that. I'll send it to y'all as well, so I can look it up, because it seemed to me like the difference I could find was like in terms of rezoning, annexation, there is some public notice that needs to go out, but we'll tackle that, soon.
Yeah, you gotta put it on the circulating paper, the website, and one public hearing.
Right,
In Spanish and in English.
right.
And then you have to notify like the school, we don't have a PD, but
What I like to do is go ahead and get the attorney to do all this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Make sure
I'm gonna,
get the attorney, let him do everything.
I've sent this to him also because it's 10 to 20 days before the hearing now. It used to be, it was a little shorter than that prior.
You know,
well, she does a petition.
Right, right. But we want to make sure also that we,
Yeah.
we know, kind of just get, because I mean, there was a nice, not to pertaining what Ms. Walker's doing, but like there's a nice little schedule that we had here that needs updating just on a zone change.
Yeah.
And y'all have copies of that. It just sort of keeps you on track of what needs to be done. So we can do, I would like to develop something like that for, annexation. So whenever the next phase, we know exactly what we're doing.
Right.
And we just go,
And once again, let him do it,
Yeah, because it's a lot of legal
That was
stuff.
kind of
you know.
she made us do certain things, we're like, okay. And then, so when I used to come in on the cul-de-sac, I would ask for variances on the front building line, so I'm gonna go ahead and get it all straight from the get-go.
Okay.
So, and I don't need the drainage easement in the back because we're having that drainage ditch put in. So, but yeah, I'll have all of it buttoned up. This is just a preliminary. I just wanted to let y'all know what I had.
It's nice. I mean, any of those properties back up to Jesse's place?
No, I was supposed to be at that one right there, 81.
These,
I was supposed to be at 81, but she messed up.
I messed up. I didn't even put it in yet.
No, but she said, oh, Jesse, no, I want to put another subdivision.
Oh, you want to be the last street? Well, you can be that last street.
Put them on top of the hill.
Yeah, yeah, you can see all of Corpus Lights from
No, I'm
there.
looking at 93.
Okay.
I'll probably look at 93.
No, my builders are wanting more lot space because they don't have people that want to build pools.
Oh,
So we're getting higher income people
Yeah,
to come into the city.
Which one's 93?
where the thing is.
And if y'all know
that
anybody
one's
that
mine.
can put
Sorry,
in a
just-
strip center, y'all wanna put in a strip center, we have the room in front of. Y'all are building some pretty ones on 624.
Oh, those are nice, yeah.
I'd sure like that over here, and Paul's got the land. So if
Well,
y'all know anybody.
Actually, I just spoke to someone last week about that he has some investors, and he was going to reach out to them, that maybe they were interested in South Texas, that they do mostly in the hill country area. And that's what they do. They do like strip centers and like different types of, commercial. Because that's something that Odem, some folks that I've talked to in the past, said, we'd love to put my business in Odem, but you guys don't have any buildings, which is kind of, right. That's what I say, we build it, and I'm sure that people come, especially, with the amount of traffic that we get through here, even with, one of the things that we talk a lot about, and the EDC has talked about also, is just trying to do some things in Odem, a little bit different than, the other communities in Santa Cruz, so something that's unique to Odem or to this county to try to bring in, because I always say, I remember going to Fredericksburg when it was you just went over there for the peaches,
Right.
there was no traffic,
Right.
and now you go to Fredericksburg and they're way off the main road, and every weekend there's something going on over there. It's packed, and so hopefully we can do that.
Yeah, I mean, we've got the land, Paul does, so if y'all know
Yeah.
anybody, tell them to contact me.
So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Is there any other questions?
We'll be in touch and
Okay.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Do you have a copy of the ordinance, like a rough draft? The ordinance for annexation,
it's in the folder. So yeah, there's a,
if you need it.
okay, yeah, definitely.
Bring all the papers.
That's it, hey, that's
Bring all the
another one.
papers. Who got it?
Old ordinance, yeah.
These-
But it'll be up to him to look at it and update it.
Yeah, 'cause everything's changed in 2017.
Right.
That one was 2012.
Mr. Moses, thank you for coming out here and meeting with us. This kind of, if you want to come up and just we can go over what it is. We wanted to share your vision also with your areas and with the council.
Appreciate the time. Moses Masagasi, Coastal Den Lots, So I actually built homes for over 20 years in the city of Corpus and the surrounding areas. So what we're looking at doing here, we primarily moved to land development. We had done that previously, but now we're the largest land developer in the coastal Bend area. So we've looked at this piece of property, kind of analyzed it. It's 23 acres. Um, we've looked at the drainage and the water and sewer capacities. We've come up with a unique neighborhood of about 150 lots with roughly a 3 acre park slash uh,
Retention pond.
retention pond. Ultimately, it'll help the drainage with the whole area, because if you go to the neighborhood next door, there's no underground piping system. All the water kind of sheet flows through. So this will kind of capture it, but ultimately then at the rate it needs to, so it doesn't adversely affect any of the houses further south off the county road, release that water. This won't necessarily hold water for any duration of time. Unless you get one of those crazy rainstorms that comes through, you might be holding water in there for an hour or two at the max. So ultimately, it'll retain, but release it out. So we've been working with one or two of our national builders that we've worked with. They're very interested in coming into the Odem market and bringing homes anywhere from the really 200 to 300,000 range, anywhere from the 1,200 to 2,200 square foot range. And they do build at a tremendously fast rate, which is good, because ultimately a development like this would probably take 5 to 7 years in the community, and they could probably do it in 18 months, which will generate anywhere between 30 to 40 million dollars worth of ad valorem tax for the city. So I'm working with the city, trying to put a park in the area to kind of give the whole community, a place to go and do those things that we forgot to do now that we have cell phones in our hands all the time. So get out there with your kids, barbecue, things of that nature. So, but no, appreciate the opportunity. We're excited to come into the Odem market, and it's really rooftops like this that ultimately lead to shopping centers and commercial being able to expand or attract, because at the end of the day, you need growth to support all businesses, or you put in a shopping center and then a business next to it fails because a new business came in rather than both of them succeeding. So, and especially with what we do, the commentary from the city next door, which is Corpus, is always build in Calallen to get those Sinton plant people to live there instead of maybe Odem or Portland or even Sinton. So a lot of these national builders are willing to put their investments in all the communities, not just the larger one, and creating maybe a larger commute. So great potential, great spot. The property's been there for a long time. I know we've appreciated working with Sal over here and giving us the insight and finding all the documents we need to really be able to piece this puzzle together, because development isn't, easy at the end of the day. So it requires a lot of due diligence, and we've gone through all that, and we're ready to bring this to the Odem market.
So what's going to be the over here where the retention, or I don't know if it would be retention pond or detention pond, what would be the difference in the
It's probably about, so it's a natural drop. It's not like 3, 4 feet. It's
Okay.
probably going to be maximum 18 inches, maybe in the center, but at a rate where, it's still walkable. It's kind of like I don't want to use Cole Park because that's more of an uphill, but it's going to have, behind the houses, you'll have a little bit of a drop to naturally push the water to the county road area, and you might have the biggest drop just in that section to kind of create a funnel to get the water to that point. But
okay.
it'll be able to, eventually add sidewalks, walking trails, things of that nature on the park itself.
So it would be it wouldn't be so out of the question to at some point put like what's it called, like the slide and all that thing that we.
Oh, yeah, no,
Oh,
so.
Yeah,
definitely
playground.
can Put your playground, I kind of envision, playground, barbecue pit area, potentially even two soccer, goals on each side, kind of with the orientation, and we can map something out for the city, but, I mean, ultimately, it's 3 acres, so it's a large piece. And then creating maybe a walking trail in between the two houses, right, when you come in off that first street to give it, not just access off the street at the very end, but giving the community next door kind of a walking trail down the sidewalk and then along, to be able to access the park from that location too. So, but definitely think it'd be advantageous and ultimately homeowners will like it. And it kind of gives also a buffer zone in between the townhomes complex that's kind of there on the corner already, so.
On Turner,
Where the
where the
housing
house
authority
authority is,
Behind housing.
Oh,
Yeah. right next to it.
So it's right in here.
Yeah, right behind it.
Yeah, and as you can see, it's, right now, it's,
When they build the bypass, is it gonna be real close to that?
Oh, no. No, the bypass is gonna be, further this way towards Bethel. If they go this way, I don't know. They got a new engineer now because Robert is left, so
the
it's in the
housing
purple
is
area.
right over here.
That's gonna push them another 10
Yeah,
years.
this is Turner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, I know that, that side of, I grew up on that side of town and, we've never really had a park for
It's gonna be right here.
that side of town.
This beige part here.
And I think that,
Mhm.
I think that's a
This
great
is the
idea
housing
that we could
authority.
have, something for
And on the
the
back.
residents on that side of town,
On the
a
back
community
end, too.
park for that side of town. I mean, we always had to just walk the railroad tracks to the city park, and I don't think you can walk the
And
railroad
this is
tracks
East Turner
anymore.
here.
But I think that's great. Now, after you guys are finally built, you will be donating that section
We
to.
want to do it initially with the city. I mean, I think it'd be, again, this group will come in and probably start 20 houses at one time, day one. And ultimately, they'd like to build it out in less than 18 months. I think it'd be advantageous to start working on that day one. I mean, we're going to do the prep work, site work, and hopefully work with the city to kind of do the amenities part for that area and the rest of the community. But I think that it'd be better to work on it day one with the city.
Okay.
So,
Day one meaning when we're done with the development.
Right.
so just some of the variables, and I've talked to Moses about it, was that for a zone change, and it just depends on time, where I think you're gonna end up owning the property at the end of,
Yeah, so we close on the property early December, but the seller will work with us on, signing the application and going through that
right,
process.
because we want to rezone it from ag to residential,
Yeah.
and it has to be from the homeowner or the landowner. So we've had that
And we
conversation.
can be the agent
Right.
on it, so. And at the end of the day, we want to zone it by at least December, turning construction plans probably by January, and start turning dirt by March, so that this group can come in by August or September of next year and really get going, so.
Now, there will be, well, we would need to do some public hearings.
Right, yeah, there's some public hearing
And
requirements.
notices would have to go out, which, it's something that you guys would have
Yeah.
to do. And then Sal can work with the addresses and stuff for
Yeah,
y'all.
not a problem.
So we can do the public hearing. How quickly can we do that?
I mean, there's two public hearings that need to happen, and I think the advertising, needs to be put in the newspaper about the two public hearings. I think I saw like 10 to 14 days before the hearing, something like that. So we just did get the
14
timing
days.
right.
Yeah.
So first thing, I think we probably just need to get something in writing from the landowner that you're gonna be the rep, from there, and then at that point, we can start process and just get everything timed out properly.
Yeah, we'll get with you tomorrow, they'll happily get that information.
Okay.
Immediately,
Because if we can do the public hearings here in November.
Yours is a lot easier because you're already in the city.
Yeah.
You
So
mentioned that you were gonna have a national company help you all out, so you're only keeping it for your company?
So I'm
That
the
national-
developer.
Okay.
Personally, I don't build anymore.
Okay.
21 years of building, I kind of put that to a little bit of a stop or a pause. We were the largest builder in the Corpus Christi area, custom builder. Now that Lennar, DR, Esperanza Homes, potentially 2 other national builders have come into the Coastal Bend community, they, I don't want to say follow everywhere I go or everything I do, but if I've got properties, they're willing to do the investment portion and come build the actual homes, just because they can do it at a much faster rate than any local builder truthfully can. So,
excuse me, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Would you sell lots to an investor outside?
not this particular
Yes,
community.
okay.
Yeah, I'm already negotiating with them to purchase all the lots at once, and for them, and really, national builders want to have communities
Right.
where they kind of set the tone, the rules.
It's
just
just like
to
your
make
Hogan
sure.
Homes and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
They want to be able to build.
And we
all
deal
of
with them as well. Hogan's one of our bigger builders, that's not a national builder that buys lots from us in the Portland area, the Corpus area. Again, we do about 1,000 lots a year, throughout the Coastal Bend. So,
And yeah, I had spoken to some of the folks over there at the city manager at Portland,
Yeah.
Randy,
today at the
and,
economic conference this morning. So.
and you guys are building it right now over there, aren't you?
Yeah, we just finished 140 lots, phase 3 and 5 of David Estates. One of them was 45 lots, one of them was 91 lots, and we're actually already 75% done with David Estates Unit 4, which is another 140 lots. And just to kind of give you an example of what these groups can do, the city of Portland was doing 23 to 35 permits a year. Now these 2 companies, Lennar and DR, have gone into their communities and they're doing about 140 to 150 permits, and they're about 80% of the permitting. And ultimately, they don't compete with the custom home builders, like they won't be competing with your product ultimately, because the custom home builders usually build to 2,500 square foot homes and larger. They're primarily doing anywhere between 1,200 to 2,500 square feet. So different market, different price range.
And we did submit, just for future, some of the variances that could probably request for the development and also the sales price of the homes here, so.
And we kind of just gave a little summary sheet of what our expectations are.
So let me ask about, well, since it is a big builder, will there be like, how many plans, I mean, as far as like homes, is there?
Probably they're gonna be doing 2 different product lines, so maybe 15 layouts. They're gonna come in multiple versions, meaning they got different bells and whistles you can add or subtract to the layout, exterior differences. The house will look different in some shape.
So it would be somewhere around 15
I would-
different layouts, okay.
I think they're bringing 2 different product lines. So national builders have certain lot widths. No matter what house they build, is a 30 wide plan. So that's why we requested a 40 wide lot. Because their actual engineering is based on that. Now, the floor plans are different, but whether they do a 1,200 square foot home or a 2,200 square foot home, it's still a 30 wide floor plan.
Okay.
And I know we have that conversation, but just for the benefit of council members who weren't involved and for the public, this is not going to be an HOA. This is just
No,
strictly.
not this particular neighborhood.
Right. Right.
And then this is what we're hoping to be the start of many more. I mean, ultimately, we don't want to just do one neighborhood in the city of Odem, where once we get our feet wet here and understand, the differences between every city is still a little bit different, even though development is somewhat always the same. Once we get probably 50% done here, we'll ultimately be looking for other tracts of land to purchase and then kind of do our same due diligence to be able to make sure that we can bring water, sewer, and drainage without conflicting with any of the infrastructure that's in place right now.
I noticed on your street, you don't have a name. There's some people here.
Stop it.
So, we're part of so we're a part of 10, I'm part of like almost every, community organization. So like, we do Cattle Baron, we do Ronald McDonald, we do Children's Advocacy Center, the Pink Connection. And ultimately, I auction off street names for, donations and funds. So for $5,000, for a good cause though. But ultimately, we come up with. So we're very creative too. Like I've named street names Spurs Nation, Laker Nation. I've got the community in Corpus that's Spider-Man, Superman, Hulk, Doctor Strange, Marvel characters. I've done park themes. I've done my whole family as a theme. We have the King's Landing neighborhood, which is Game of Thrones theme. So we always come up with a very creative theme for the area. So you guys can shoot me ideas about
Birds,
that.
falcon.
Yeah.
Eagle.
No, we did parks, so we did Denali and other type of Yellowstone, all that stuff.
So
So
he's a retired pilot. He can afford
Yeah.
Let me just throw this at you, Mayor. Can you
Yes.
bring that down real quick?
That's
Can
as far as it goes.
that's all it goes?
Mm-hmm. Where
Can we think about maybe opening a Turner to get access to that? Somehow it stops right there for another flow through to that neighborhood.
Well, the flow through is going to be only on.
Turner side and then.
So you've got two entrances.
No,
in
but
and out of the neighborhood.
we got Turner can go through. No, it stops.
It'll, only Fourth will go in.
Fourth,
Yeah, but I was
and then
saying,
there's
how
Third
come we
Street.
cannot develop Turner to go through?
2221.
Well,
No,
there's
no,
another entrance on the other
This
side.
one right here, right there, Turner.
Yeah, there's an entrance here.
No,
and
but-
over here.
This to get into that neighborhood, to relieve the neighborhood coming to the next school. How come we can't develop that street? Because there's gonna be a lot of traffic going through there.
Ultimately, I mean, it's 150 homes, so you will
Yeah.
get some traffic, but it'll go
That,
down
and
East
that'll
Turner
relieve this
and
one
then
here, because we want to close
through
that one down. don't you?
the railroad area.
How come we
Uh,
can't-
I don't know what you're looking at.
All that land.
Turner.
Next to it.
You're
Okay,
talking about.
You know where the.
Oh, you're talking about
Car
West
washes?
Turner coming
Yeah,
all
how
the
come
way
we
through.
can't just?
All that land.
Oh, you're crossing to the
Yeah,
highway
yeah, go ahead. It's a road.
Yeah.
And remember you wanted to close.
because of railroad tracks.
You wanted to close this one down.
We could, we just have to see, we talk to Union Pacific.
So you turn.
But
Yeah. So what he's talking about is, Turner ends right there on Front Street, but it starts
Oh.
again where the car wash and the car,
To
he's
relieve
talking
the
about
traffic.
open it all, but we have to get with Union
costs
Pacific probably.
money. What are you thinking of when, back in the day, remember
But-
they were trying to
but-
close them? But if you open one, you're talking about 300, 400,000.
So we'd probably have to deal with Union Pacific, and I don't even know if Union Pacific would even,
Well, they said they wanted to
Consider it.
close that railroad crossing
Yeah.
right there.
yeah. But that would be,
Yeah, we looked at that. And it's, cost.
I mean, like I said,
No.
more, just to get more traffic.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, the property's kind of tucked in, but it's kind of on the edge of your, city, obviously, too. It's right on the property. City,
He's not talking about close to your,
no,
he's talking about way over
Yeah.
there.
he's off
Car
of 77,
washes, yeah.
instead of going to Stripes and turning, and then having to
Just
come.
some relief going in and
Just-
out,
The other thing I think is that 4th Street exits one direction, East Turner is one direction, and then obviously you'll be able to come off of 5th Street as well, to go, multiple directions,
Yeah.
depending on which way people are going, so.
Just leave it like that, because I have 2 houses right here on 3rd Street. It's good.
Yeah, and this
So,
will
I think-
ultimately bring the appraisal value just for that whole community up, and again, alleviate some drainage issues long-term.
Yes, ma'am.
So that neighborhood's gonna only have 2 entrances?
There'll be one on Fourth Street and then one coming off of
Fifth.
Fifth Street. Yeah.
Just, because
Yeah, so,
living in Austin, when we had those big fires, Steiner Ranch had only one entrance, and that's why a lot of people panicked and lost their homes because there was no way in or out, because the fire was right there in that center.
And again, that's why we're kind of doing all 150 lots and both entrances at the same time. By fire code, national fire code, you have to have two entrances.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sounds good.
I think it's good.
Yeah, I think so too. And
It's like where your subdivision, Jesse, I mean,
No, Lori
There's not-
subdivision.
that's not, there's not that many entrances.
We only got two. You're over the church and,
And it helps with safety as well.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, as long as you have fire access, because you can get to any of these streets
Yeah.
from both locations. So they always say you have to simultaneously think if a car accident happened and a fire, can you get to one location or the other? And that's where you have the two
Yeah.
entrances, the two main entrance points, so.
There's three, Jesse. There's two off the 77.
yeah,
Oh,
more
yeah.
than, yeah,
So-
you're right.
do you have anybody have any other
That
questions?
sounds great.
Well, I know you've been working with Sal on this
Yeah.
for a while and I appreciate your patience but if we can get the information we need so we can send out the notices in this month, in November, and we can maybe
Sal
do.
in the morning, we won't bother you after this then.
Uh,
no, this is a
Yeah.
great project, and I want to thank the mayor and Jesse for helping a lot with some of this stuff. It does relieve me a little bit from the regular stuff, and, Councilman Huerta also for his experience also. So lots of great feedback. We've got a good team, so.
Yeah, pretty excited.
Communication's always the key, and that's why we want to be as open and communicate, because ultimately, we want to have a great development that helps serves the community, but also bring in a great partner to build those homes and then even serve the community in a better fashion and kind of really, get Odem back on the map as far as growth wise.
The good thing about the sewer is it's natural.
Right, that's right.
Yeah. Exactly.
One last thing.
Station right there.
Yeah, we've got to tie into a manhole about 600 feet of offsite, but
Yeah.
we've included that in our
Yeah,
analysis. So.
in front of the housing authority.
Yeah.
And that's all underground utilities, right?
Yeah,
All
that's all
underground.
we do. Yeah, the electrical, the
We all be,
That green area is gonna be a park,
Yes.
is it gonna be cow friendly? There's a cow that's new.
Oh, yeah, there's always a cow roaming around in that area.
we needed fertilizer out there. So.
Well, Mr. Matsugasi, thank you so much again. Ms. Lori, thank you again.
Never been here, so they know
We're
how to
listening.
get it out, so.
All right.
Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank y'all.
You're done. Thank you very much.